before we go, Luke, can you talk to me about your relationship with Vince? Like, how did he treat you guys? What do you have to say
Well,
about Vince McMahon?
you know, everybody knocks Vince. Everybody knocks him. Not all everybody, but a lot of people, because they think they should, when they get told to leave, they think they should be there for good. You know, he keeps the strong baby faces, and he has to move heels through the place, just like any territory. You have the baby face is the one that the people want to see win all the time, but you beat them up on that, and then they come out on top. And that's why you feed heels through territories. I booked for 14 years of my life, booking promotions, 7 day a week and writing TVs. And that's what I did. Feed, pick us a couple of baby faces. And that's why, too, we never had long stays in the place, even when I was booking, except for the last place when I was there 7 years. But I wasn't working for IWA in Puerto Rico. But the rest of the places, we were there for a year and a half. And we left because we kept the strong baby faces. And I couldn't, getting back to Vince thing, he looked after us, you know what I mean? He let me use two. I opened two restaurants. He gave us a name, and the restaurants were Bushwacker Steakhouse, and then I had a bungee, the Bushwacker bungee, and then I had that on the water down in Florida, and the things he let it, and he never, I just called him up and asked him, and that, and he says, let my lawyer know, and blah, blah, blah. And the lawyer said, look, it's all good. Vince gave you the nod. You're all good. Now, the guys can't use their names or anything. So when they leave the company in the 90s, if you left and you try to use your name, you had to change it.
Right.
Yeah, we never did. And that was his name. So I could never complain about him. And if it wasn't for Vince, I wouldn't be running around the country. I'm working still 3 to 4 weekends every month around this country, and as a bushwhacker. Because that gimmick on television got over nationally, and no, not nationally, internationally. And if you go on Peacock, you can still watch all that classic era. And now a lot of kids are watching that classic era. You know that, Mike?
Yeah.
Kids come up, and I come up marching up. I want my photo, and that because they're bored with I think their dads have shown the classic era, and they've seen all the characters. Where there's no characters today, or very few characters.
Right. Luke, I remember going to the Garden as a kid, and Hogan was on the show, and you guys closed the show. It was a 6-man, you guys and Jim Duggan. It was just, you guys were such a, I was a kid watching the Bushwhackers. I loved watching you guys. I have so much respect for all the stuff you did earlier in your career. 7 decades. I mean, it speaks for itself. I thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight.
Man, I appreciate, mate. And that's one thing that Vince did. He put us on the last match. Main events was always before the mission or after the mission. And to send the people home, he always put us on last to entertain the people so they could go home in a good mood.
Exactly.
My two favorite places, the first match, which people hate to be, they think, curtain ways, but the people have been sitting there for an hour or so and they're ready to get into the first match. And I used to love being the first match, opening the place. You know what I mean?
Sure. Fresh crowd.
Yeah, and you get the crowd in that good mood. So, yeah, mate, Mike, appreciate being on your show.
Awesome.
Wrestling here and now, right?
Then and now. It's on the shirt.
Then and now. Mate. I appreciate you, Mike. And down the road, we can talk a bit more and go into a territory. I could go into a few territories and go deeper. And just to remind all the people, I'm on a show on Vice Network where they're doing territories at the moment. I'm doing the Portland territory, and that's on in a couple of weeks.
Anything you want to plug, Luke? Do you want how
Yeah.
people find you if they want to book you?
My website is bushwackerluke.com. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is Bushwacker Luke. And we have a book out at the moment. Well, it's coming out on Amazon next month in November, and it's called Blood, Sweat, and Cheers. The blood and the sweat is the sheep herders and the Kiwis, and the cheers are WWF with Bushwacker.
Awesome. Luke,